military, the most powerful military on the planet. That is what a lot of the MAGA maniacs and the pro-Trump regime are always telling everybody. Iran can't stand up to America. They're too weak. They got a smaller military. They're too primitive. They don't have the military capabilities. Right? Like, we're hearing this all the time. And according to reports, I believe either the small hat nation and America together, they have targeted at least 10,000 places in Iran, right? This is according to them. We don't know if that's even true. That's what they tell us. But let's just say that's true, right? So let me get this straight. You got Americans happy that we are beating up on what we perceive a weaker country. And they're happy and they're applauding that. They're giving the United States stripes. They're giving them cookies for pounding and beating up on a smaller, weaker country, man, right? Now, you got to think that when you think about that, that lets you know how cowardly and weak a lot of Americans are to even have that logic. That's kind of just like how they did my people during the slave days, man. They felt good about lynching black folks. They felt good about having them in chains and under slavery and all that kind of stuff like that. They felt superior. But you really don't get no points like that. You know how I would have respect the slave masters if they would have let the slaves go, gave the slaves some guns, and then go get the slaves. That's when, and then shot it out and banged it out with the slaves and see who came out on top. You get all the respect in the world from me. And just like when I see these motherfuckers go over there to like Africa and hunt lions and all that. Okay, you got a gun. Okay, you got the advantage over the lion because you got a fucking gun. Whoop-de-doo. How about you put the gun down, go kill that lion with your bare hands. Let me see how that work out for you. See how weak these motherfuckers, see how weak they are? The weak people that's truly weak, or they want to be bullies, they can only use weapons, or they can only beat on smaller people. That's how they feel superior, when they beat on smaller people, man. It's like a bully. A bully, most of the time, a bully won't bother anybody his size. He'll pick on somebody a little bit smaller than him, or he'll pick on somebody way smaller than him. He won't bother anybody his size. He won't. Because he gonna get his ass handed to him. Or it's gonna be even worse than getting his ass handed to him. So it's like, when you see these people say this, you be like, bro, the U.S. don't get no points for beating up on a smaller country. Okay, what you want me to do? Give them a medal just because they're beating up on somebody that's supposed to be small? I'm not saying that they're winning this war. I don't know. I doubt it. The economic war, they definitely ain't winning that. But what kind of joy do you get out of striking and beating a smaller country into submission, bro? They've done this already. They've done this to Iraq. They did this to Afghanistan. They went in and kidnapped the president of Venezuela. All right. People was happy. All right. Happy for what? They supposed to have been able to do that. They supposed to have been capable enough to do that. Of course. How do they get all kind of points and handshakes and how do they get any respect for doing that? How? That's how cowards move. People with cowardly hearts, that's how they get down. Nah, but let me say this. When America goes after China and Russia at the same time, or even one, and bombs them and goes over there and try to invade Russia and invade China or something like that. All right, go ahead. Then I'll be like, all right, America, I see you. But until then, no. Bullies don't get my support, bro. You don't get my support for beating up on weaker countries that have a smaller arsenal or less superior weapons. You don't get no respect from me for that, bro. But to the people with the superior complex, that's how they think. Oh man, we conquer every. Yeah, who are you really conquering though? You conquering smaller countries that got smaller militaries, smaller fleets of military vehicles, and how about this? I'll go cook up a batch of the most disgusting, nastiest cookies, and I'll give them to you. Be like, here you go. Happy? You just succeeded in beating up a smaller country. Yeah, go America.